Hello everyone, I'm Nate Klemp and welcome. Today I want to talk about a breathing technique and practice that we can use for those nights where we find it either difficult to go to sleep or a night like I had last night where we find that we're up in the middle of the night. For me, it was 3:30 in the morning. Our mind might be flooded with all sorts of anxious thoughts. This is a practice you can use to effectively turn down the volume on your nervous system and begin to prepare your body for sleep. So just before we do the practice, I want to tell you about what we're going to do because it involves two different breathing techniques. The first is what James Nestor in his amazing book Breath calls the perfect breath. He says that after 10 years of researching breath work, he came up with this as the perfect, simple practice for breathing. And that is an extended inhale and exhale that's around 5.5 seconds on the inhale, 5.5 seconds on the exhale. Of course, you don't have to be exact there, but the basic idea is that we're slowing down the pace of breath. We're breathing in and out less air, and that has this effect of calming down the nervous system. So we're going to start with the perfect breath, and then we're going to transition into extended exhale breathing. So the basic idea here is we're going to exhale longer than we inhale. So one way of thinking about this would be an 8-count exhale and a 4-count inhale. And it doesn't have to be exact, but the basic idea is that we are extending the length of the exhale. And research shows that by doing that, we're actually compressing the space that surrounds the heart because the diaphragm is moving up. That then sends a signal to the brain to reduce heart rate and to relax the body and the mind. And it's through doing this breath work that we can pretty rapidly start to just calm down the nervous system and prepare ourselves for sleep. So let's actually do the practice. It'll be about 8 minutes or so. And once you've done this practice, you can then carry this with you for those nights where, again, maybe you're feeling anxious. Maybe you're feeling just amped up. Maybe you're waking up in the middle of the night and you really need to get sleep for the next day. Okay, so you can do this lying down, which is likely the position you'll be in when you're sleeping. You can do it sitting up as well. I'm going to be seated here, but find whatever position works best for you. And then we're just going to begin with that perfect breath. So we're going to intentionally slow down the pace of each inhale and exhale. And one of the things you can do is just count in your mind slowly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just maybe a couple times to get a sense of what a 5.5 second breath in and out would feel like. And then as you're doing this, a few key tips. One of the most fundamental things when it comes to breath work is staying relaxed. You never want to feel like you're trying or forcing or efforting the breath. That's the opposite of what we're trying to cultivate here. So to the best of your ability, you want this breath to feel smooth and soft and gentle. And the moment you feel that tension arising, see if you can just drop that. Tip 2. I find that it's helpful to locate the sensory experience of breath at your abdomen. And you want to feel a slight expansion of your abdomen on the inhale, a slight contraction on the exhale. This doesn't have to be super exaggerated and intense. But to me, it feels almost like a wave happening in my abdomen. I inhale, my belly expands, I exhale, contracts, just like the ocean. Waves coming in, waves coming out. And now one final technique just to add here, as you experience that expansion and contraction of the abdomen, you might add just a small rounding of the back, the lower back, as this is happening on the inhale, and then feeling the lower back come back into place on the exhale. So there's just a slight tilt forward of the lower back on the inhale, and then a return on the exhale. And this is super subtle. Again, we don't want to make this too intense. We don't want to effort. So we're going to take about 30 more seconds of these perfect breaths. Even inhale and exhale. Already you might be noticing that there's a pretty amazing shift happening. We are moving from our normal rhythm of breaths to a much slower, more relaxed style of breathing. A style of breathing anchored in the belly, the abdomen. So now, when you're ready, we're going to introduce the second technique, which is only different in the sense that we're going to be lengthening the exhale. So one way to do this is to actually count 8 counts as you're exhaling. And then when you get to the end of the exhale, that's kind of a magic moment. You might actually just hang out there for one moment and then allow the inhale to just happen naturally. So the slight trace of effort, if there is some, is really on extending the length of the exhale. We allow the inhale to just happen automatically. And again, you want to make sure that there is no effort, that you're not straining, you don't feel like you're dying or you're hyperventilating at the end of this long exhale. You want to feel like it's really smooth. If it gets tight, if you find yourself efforting, slow it down a little bit, relax a little bit. Maybe you don't have to breathe out quite so long. So we want to stay like the ocean on a calm day. That long exhale. And then noticing that at the end of that exhale, there's actually something magical there. Sometimes there's just this pause, which is both a pause in the breath, but sometimes it's a pause in the mind. Our thoughts disappear. I find even in this pause, sometimes I can feel the tension in my body start to let go and release. So we're going to go for about 1 more minute here, just extending that exhale. And then watching the mind dissolve, tension dissolve at that point, right at the end of the exhale. That's the magic moment of extended exhale breathing. All right, one last breath. Letting go into that exhale. Okay, you will likely feel a pretty significant shift in your nervous system, a shift toward relaxation. And what we've just done was about 8 minutes. If you find yourself trying to go to sleep or you're up late at night, this is something you can do for more like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And the more you do it, the more relaxed your mind and body will become. And I find it's the perfect way to get back to sleep on those kinds of nights. So, hope this works for you. Feel free to leave any thoughts or experiences in the comments. And as always, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you're notified when each new video comes out. Thanks.